All right, everybody, we've got ourselves a Seattle Seahawk signing. That's right. This is not a drill. The Seattle Seahawks have made a move. It's not a huge move, but it is the kind of move that I was expecting at some point this offseason. So let's talk it through here. The Seattle Seahawks have signed wide receiver Marquez Valdes-Scantling, better known as MVS, to a 1 year, $5.5 million deal. Leon Brown, thank you for the sub. Welcome to the channel. Marquez Valdes-Scantling has had a pretty decent career as a capable but not particularly stand out NFL wide receiver. His best seasons are around 700 yards. He's kind of a big play threat throughout most of his career. He's had a very high yard per reception average. He's relatively inefficient as a receiver, so it's almost a little, and I don't mean to draw a one-to-one comparison, but it's a little like Deshaun Jackson was, except just not as much volume. Deshaun Jackson was a guy who would catch around half the balls thrown his way, but the passes he caught tended to go for big gains. You could kind of think about him in those terms. He just never got to the heights of a Deshaun Jackson in terms of volume, but this is kind of the sort of signing that I was expecting from the Seahawks at some point this offseason because we need a receiver that we can put some degree of trust into as like a number three receiver. And in Kubiak's offense, I think MVS is pretty much adequate for that. Scantling was in New Orleans last season with Kubiak. He started 8 games for the Saints last year after being traded from Buffalo, and he was what he typically is. He didn't catch a high percentage of passes thrown his way, but he made big plays on those catches. So this is the kind of player that Clint Kubiak wants to have in his offense. He's also a 2-time Super Bowl champion, by the way. Won 2 Super Bowls with the Chiefs in 2022 and 2023. And I think that this is pretty reasonable. I think this is pretty good. Again, we needed, I'd say, one veteran receiver this offseason. Miguel Rodriguez, thank you for the $1.99 super chat. But yeah, he wasn't necessarily on my list in a very highly prolific fashion, but I do appreciate his fit, and I do appreciate the approximately correct value if you're looking at him as a number 3. So we'll probably talk more about him a little bit later. I'll go into more detail, but for now, all we need to know is Marquez Valdes-Scantling is a Seahawk, 1 year, $5.5 million. It's nice and cheap. It's less than a lot of these veteran receivers are likely to get. And the main reason for that is Miguel Rodriguez, thank you for the $1.99 again. The main reason is just that he didn't have as prolific a quote-unquote prime as other players, which doesn't really matter to us because these players that are available are by and large past their prime. So I appreciate it. I dig it. I think this is pretty good. I think this works. It's something that will not really affect cap space that much this year or beyond because it's a 1-year deal for cheap. And I think he's capable of doing what we will ask of him. So good start to the day. Marquez Valdes-Scantling. See you guys later. Go Hawks. Got plenty more to hope to happen later today.